Good morning. Time once again for Chamber Chat with Lindsay Keisler, President of your Catawba County Chamber of Commerce. Good morning. Always a pleasure to see you.
See you.
And we're going to go ahead and start with the upcoming Future of Catawba County Summit that will be taking place.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about it.
Yes, sir. So the Future of Catawba County Summit is presented by Truist. We're going to be hosting that on April the 19th at the Hickory Metro Convention Center. We have a half-day summit full of content that's going to talk about, what some of the most critical issues that are impacting business and economic generation right now. And then this year, specifically, the thread that I'm weaving throughout the half-day sessions is human capital, right? Human capital is going to be, is the driver for economic prosperity, right? The individuals in our community that make up our community, make up our businesses, that power our businesses. And so we're going to be touching, within the agenda, we're going to be touching on, I'm calling it contributors and also inhibitors to human capital and to workforce development in this region. So we're going to start off the afternoon with an economist, so the senior vice president, senior analyst of investment strategy, portfolio and market strategy. That's a long title, Hal. That's a really long title. Yes, Jeff Terrell with Truist is going to come and give us an economic outlook. So from a micro perspective, also a macro perspective. There's a lot of economics uncertainty out there, and so I'll be curious as to what his forecast will be for the rest of the year. So we're going to kick that off just to help understand where we are, right, and also potentially where we could be going. Gotcha. And then we're going to dive into some meaty content from some local subject matter experts around contributors and inhibitors to workforce and human capital in our community.
And do you have those lined up as well?
Absolutely. So Charity Patterson-Hamber, she's the director of the Western Piedmont Workforce Development Board.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Right? So I'm having her come and do a little bit of data presentation around the state of the workforce. So what are the industries that are searching to fill their current positions? What are skills needed now and also in the future? What's the labor participation look like? And are there certain gaps in certain segments of our population that have lower participation than others? And what are some of the ways and strategies that we are employing locally to help increase that labor participation rate? So she's going to be talking about that state of the workforce, giving us that level set of data to understand where we are.
Right.
Then we're going to go into some a contributor. So the Catawba Apprenticeship Network through Catawba Valley Community College, Catawba Valley Community College now holds the standards for registered apprenticeship in our community. So that you'll be able to learn what that means, as well as hear from some local employers that are utilizing apprenticeship to help fill their pipelines of future talent. And also from a parent perspective, I have young children. These individuals are coming out, they're working, they're gaining valuable work skills as well as getting paid while they're doing it. They're getting paid for seat time. They're getting their education paid for. And then they're stepping out of their education into full-time employment after their apprenticeship is over. With a very competitive compensation package. And so these individuals, I believe, very smart to get a jump start in their career. Yeah. And then from an employer perspective, this is certainly a best practice that we're trying to shine a light on for employers to help craft and shape and mold their future workforce. And so we're going to hear from Christy Lefevers, who's the Associate Dean for Workforce Connectivity at CVCC, and she's going to bring a host of employers, but also we're going to hear from a couple apprentices on their first-person perspective on their experience. So every employers such as Momentum Car Care, the Hickory Police Department, as well as Sarstead and Poppleman Plastics USA. So you're going to
Very
hear
good,
from kind of a well-rounded perspective there
yeah.
on the expanded vision for apprenticeship in our community. Then we're going to hear about Explore 64. So K64 has been working on a workforce connectivity portal, an online asset to connect students with future careers and also the skills necessary to be able to, that they need to acquire to fill those jobs that they might be interested in that they discover on this tool. So this is a very dynamic tool. I've been a part of this as well as several others, but Stephen Shuford, the chairman or vice chairman rather of SureTape Technologies, former CEO of SureTape, has really been spearheading this from a volunteer and community leadership perspective. So he's going to be coming and giving a teaser on this tool that will be rolled out to the business community later this fall.
Explore 64.
And so that is a very exciting development, and the first time this will be displayed publicly will be at the Future of Catawba County Summit.
Oh, that'll be great. Very cool.
Yes. So next we're going to go into more of an inhibitor, which would be our child care crisis. So the shortage.
Did not know that.
Yes. The availability and also the affordability of child care across not just Catawba County, but across our state and our country has reached a pretty critical level. So Kim Holden, who's the executive director of the Catawba County Partnership for Children, Kim is going to come and talk about not only where we are with child care and the availability of child care, but too some very creative and innovative solutions her as well as some other community partners, also the chamber has been involved in that as well, on how we are bridging that gap, creating spaces for individuals that need to go to work, but also need a great place for their children to be and to also learn. And then, so you think of, if you don't have childcare, you can't work, right? So that's a huge inhibitor to workforce. But at the same time, that birth to 5 age group, we're learning developmentally is the skills that you acquire, or that developmental part of your formative being, social, emotional health is a marker as to how you're going to achieve later on down the road. And so that birth to 5 age group is critically important that we focus on in our community, as well as ensuring that those that need to go to work have a place for their children during the day. So she's going to be talking about that and shining a light on that, and also how employers can be a part of the solution for child care and early childhood education in our community. We're going to go into another inhibitor. This also can be a contributor, which would be public health. So the well-being of our employees, as we've noticed more than ever over the past several years, is critical to how productive they are, right? And their ability to, absenteeism, right? So ensuring that our employees are cared for, that they're healthy, they're vibrant, and they're able to be their full selves, and they're able to perform at an optimal level. So our Jennifer Lindsay, she's a public health strategist with Catawba County Public Health. She's going to be coming to talk about ways that our community is providing resources and support for mental health as well as physical well-being. And then this year is also a community health assessment year.
Yes.
So you probably are well aware of that now.
Well, I know a little bit about it. We're gonna find out what impacts the health, then we're gonna do the interview, or we're gonna do the information gathering, and then it'll be addressed to public health later on.
That's right.
It's gonna be a great. Now we're out of time.
Oh, we've got one more. The college presidents are going to be coming, and we're going to talk about how higher ed powers our talent.
An extended chamber chat this morning with Lindsay Keisler, president of your Catawba County Chamber of Commerce. We're talking about the Future of Catawba County Summit. It's happening the 19th of this month, 11 to 4:30. We do. We were left off at the representatives from the college, but we do want to find out how we go about getting tickets because they're still available. Happens at the Visitor and Conventions Bureau, Hickory Metro Center. But how do we go about getting tickets?
Yeah. So, but first, as we were wrapping up before
you want
the
to go back
commercial
to
break,
that?
I want to go back because
Okay.
this is.
We're going to go back.
This is really
I know.
powerful.
Okay.
It's really powerful. So we are talking about how higher education powers talent pipelines, and so we're going to have representatives from our 3 higher education institutions that have representation here. So Catawba Valley Community College, Dr. Garrett Henshaw, as well as Lenore Ryan University's president, Dr. Fred Witt. And then we're going to have the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, J.J. Brown, from Appalachian State University that we're going to be sharing. They're going to be sharing a stage, and we're going to have a great panel discussion on the ways that they're working together, but also working with our local employers to ensure that future talent has the skills that are needed to be able to fill vital positions, both now and also in the future.
Okay.
So very thankful to have all 3 of those individuals represented at this event. Look forward to hearing some of the great work that all 3 of them are doing. But tickets, yes, registration is open until this Friday.
Right.
Friday the 7th. So if you're listening and you're out there and you said, man, I think I've heard a radio spot on WHKY about this event. I think, I've now heard Lindsay talk about this now for an extended period of time on Chamber Chat, thanks to Hal. Or maybe I've received a couple emails about it, but you haven't yet registered. This is your reminder, your friendly reminder to register. We'll have around 300 business and community leaders there. So definitely want to not miss the content, but also not miss the opportunity to connect with some of the most influential leaders from across our region.
This will be now, each one of these is not going to be breakouts. These are all going to be key note speakers. They're all going to come out.
Yes.
And okay.
Yes.
Very good. You got a lot going on. That's going to be...
It will be a lot. It's a lot of time. We understand we're asking a lot of time from business leaders in this community to commit to this, but we're going to make it worth your time by packing it full of very valuable content.
And I think that contributors and inhibitors, I think that's really good that you're taking a look at both of them. And of course, the solutions, not just inhibitors, but the solutions there. So that's going to be very good as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you.